If you've ever launched a campaign and then opened GA4 only to see traffic labeled as direct or none, this video is for you. In this video, we're going to break down UTM parameters in GA4, what they are, when you should use them, how to name them correctly, and how to verify that they're actually working. By the end, you'll know exactly how to track campaigns reliably instead of guessing where your traffic came from. Let's start with the problem UTMs solve. Whenever a user clicks a link to your website, Google Analytics tries to automatically determine the source and medium of that session, but that information isn't always reliable. Referrer data can be stripped out by browsers, lost during redirects, or completely unavailable, especially for links in emails, PDFs, apps, or offline materials. That's where UTM parameters come in. UTM parameters are campaign tracking values that you manually append to a URL. When someone clicks that URL, GA4 reads the parameters and writes those values directly into the session dimensions, overriding whatever GA4 would have detected automatically. This makes UTMs the most reliable way to track paid campaigns, email marketing, downloadable assets, and any link where accuracy really matters. Now, if you're using Google Ads, there's an important distinction. Google Ads supports auto-tagging, which automatically appends a parameter to your URLs and passes campaign data directly into GA4. When auto-tagging is enabled, you do not need to manually add UTM parameters for Google Ads campaigns. Doing both can actually create conflicts. UTM parameters are primarily for everything outside of Google Ads: newsletters, banners, social posts, PDFs, QR codes, and partner links. So, what parameters should you actually use? At a minimum, every tagged URL should include 3 required parameters. There are also 2 optional parameters you can use when needed. These parameters existed in Universal Analytics and still work the same way in GA4, so you don't need to change existing campaign links just because you've migrated. GA4 does introduce new optional UTM parameters, though. For example, ID, source platform, creative format, and marketing tactic. These don't replace the classic UTMs, they extend them when you need more detail. So, when should you actually use UTM parameters? You should use UTMs anytime you need precise, reliable attribution. That includes paid advertising, email campaigns, landing pages shared across multiple channels, and links that originate outside the browser, like PDFs or apps. Without UTMs, GA4 often has no choice but to label these sessions as direct traffic, which makes campaign analysis nearly impossible. Using UTMs ensures that your traffic lands in the correct source, medium, and campaign buckets every time. Now, let's talk about how to build a URL correctly. UTM parameters are appended to the end of a URL using a question mark. Additional parameters are added using ampersands. For example, a tagged URL might look like this. If your website uses hash fragments, the UTMs must appear before the hash. GA4 does not support hash-based UTMs, which were possible in Universal Analytics. Get the order wrong, and GA4 will never see the parameters. To avoid mistakes, Google provides the Campaign URL Builder, which lets you enter your destination URL and campaign values and generates the final link automatically. This is the safest way to build individual URLs. If you're managing many links, spreadsheets like Excel or Google Sheets are ideal. Many teams use shared UTM templates to keep naming consistent across campaigns, and naming consistency matters a lot. UTM parameter names are fixed, but the values are entirely up to you, which is where most mistakes happen. Always use lowercase only. GA4 treats uppercase and lowercase as different values, which can split your campaign data. Avoid spaces and special characters. Use underscores instead. Most importantly, define a clear naming convention and use it consistently across teams and vendors. If everyone uses different values for the same channel, your reports will quickly become unusable. Also, never reuse the same UTM values for different sources. Because UTMs override GA4's automatic detection, generic values like external will destroy your ability to differentiate traffic. Once your URLs are built, you need to test them. First, paste the full URL, including UTMs, directly into a browser. Make sure the page loads correctly and no parameters are missing. Then test the full user journey. Click the link inside the email, ad platform, or document where it will actually be used. Redirects, tracking tools, or shorteners can strip parameters without warning. The more systems involved, the more critical testing becomes. Finally, confirm that everything reaches GA4. You can do this in the real-time report by inspecting the page_view event and checking the campaign, source, and medium values. You can also inspect the individual user session to verify that the parameters were captured correctly on the first hit. This step is tedious, but skipping it can cost you an entire campaign's worth of data. UTM parameters aren't complicated, but they are unforgiving. A single typo, misplaced character, or inconsistent name is enough to break attribution completely. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this: UTMs are your insurance policy for campaign measurement in GA4. Use them deliberately, name them consistently, and always test before you launch. To learn more about IT, programming, administration, and more, make sure to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications so you never miss a new video.